Yes or no? Yes or no?
You damn well know.
Child abuses are not allowed on our platform at all.
What can you do?
Does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
How did TikTok become a target of US politicians? Globally, it is the most popular social media app, having been downloaded more times worldwide than other apps such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Why do US lawmakers want to have it booted from American soil, and why now? It's Pablo here, and welcome to Facts Tell. The threatened action against TikTok is not something new. Almost 3 years have passed since the Trump administration first threatened to ban it. TikTok is owned by the Chinese firm ByteDance, which global investors mainly own. Back in 2020, Trump demanded ByteDance to sell its stake to American investors or face a ban. However, the order was held up in the courts, and Biden wrote it back after taking office. But earlier this month, the administration reversed course and is under pressure again to ban the app. Last week, TikTok CEO Shou Chu, born and raised in Singapore, attended a congressional hearing, which eventually turned into a 5-hour grilling. However, a barrage of comments have been popping up all over the internet, mocking Congress members' questions. Why? Well, let's have a look.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
So if I have TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question. We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not. The only face data that you will get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are.
Why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial. Again, we do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users.
I find that hard to believe. It's our understanding that they're looking at the eyes.
I mean, this does not look like a professional inquiry or investigation. It's more like a televised tech support session. Social media users parallel the congressman's questions to such dumb ones as, does TikTok access my battery to steal my electricity? Or what happens to TikTok when the batteries run out? A potential ban on TikTok derived from concerns about data privacy, misinformation, and safety for youth. However, some Congress members who didn't attend the hearing argued that the most urgent need is not to scapegoat one specific app, but to push for higher standards on an industry-wide level.
Do I believe TikTok should be banned? No. And they say because of this egregious amount of data harvesting, we should ban this app. However, that doesn't really address the core of the issue, which is the fact that major social media companies are allowed to collect troves of deeply personal data about you that you don't know about without really any significant regulation whatsoever. In fact, the United States is one of the only developed nations in the world that has no significant data or privacy protection laws on the books. The EU, for example, has something known as the GDPR, which really forces an enormous amount of protection on individual users and the amount of data that companies can collect about you without your knowledge.
So let's not have a dishonest conversation. Let's not be racist towards China and express our xenophobia when it comes to TikTok, because American companies have done tremendous harm to American people. I didn't hear any member of Congress talk about banning Facebook for doing this. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and other platforms have allowed lies and misinformation to live on their platforms, even though that information may have been harmful to others.
In recent years, members of Congress have been called out repeatedly for investing big bucks in American social media companies, including the ones that we have mentioned in the video. TikTok has only been around for a few years compared to the older industry juggernauts. Although having just launched in 2017, it has seen blistering growth, especially at a time when Silicon Valley's stock prices were crumbling. TikTok's success has triggered deep jealousy. Among the 10 most downloaded apps of 2022, TikTok ranked the first in the US market and globally. At the same time, brands are getting higher engagement in TikTok than in Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. As a marketing manager puts it, as recent tech layoffs limit the resources put toward social media marketing, brands should focus on the platforms where they will get the highest returns on their efforts. Right now, the platform is TikTok. Regarding the actual danger of TikTok, a national security review has gone on for years, but still with no resolution or supporting evidence.
This is more governing through fear-mongering without actual evidence. I'm a sitting member of Congress. We have never received one briefing explaining the dangers of TikTok and how TikTok are a national security risk. So this is a rush to judgment without having a larger conversation around the harms of social media in general. Our data right now on Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Instagram, our data right now is available for purchase, for sale, for trading.
First, there is a lack of evidence from an academic and technical perspective. A study by the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab found that the app did not exhibit overtly malicious behavior in data collection. Oh wait, its use of advertising and user activity tracking software was not exceptional when compared to industry norms. Second, from an industry perspective, the debate centers around whether TikTok's term of service agreements, which users must sign, are not up to industry standards. A cybersecurity professional who multiple media outlets in different countries have widely quoted accused TikTok of not being completely transparent and suggested using a website that grades the term of service of different apps. The report then says the website gives TikTok its lowest grade. However, the report does not say that the website also gives the same grade, grade E, to a laundry list of popular platforms. At last, from the perspective of actual practice, TikTok CEO said that the company had initiated Project Texas to safeguard user data, responding to the concerns raised in the US. He said the project is something no company has attempted and is extremely difficult and expensive to build. So in short, under this project, data about US users would be stored in the US. To address concerns over foreign control, TikTok created a new subsidiary called USDS. Its leaders and employees will not report to TikTok or ByteDance executives, but to an independent board of directors, each with strong backgrounds in US national security. All employees would be vetted per hiring requirements more typical of the defense industry than a social media or entertainment platform. The team's independence reportedly goes as far as limiting the members' nationality. US media cited anonymous resources that Chinese nationals are not allowed to join. In Europe, TikTok invested in a similar project called Project Clover. 3 data centers in different countries will be operational and represent an annual investment of 1.2 billion euros.
And we know apps are created all the time, right? There's going to be another TikTok. Something else is going to come out from China. At what point does the US need to accept that foreign platforms can adapt when it comes to security and transparency and just embrace them?
So right now in the United States, two other e-commerce apps are very popular. All of these apps become vulnerable, but not just apps. It could be drone companies. It could be Internet of Things companies. Europeans have complained that there is access to information provided to the NSA by Facebook or YouTube. Now, I'm not sure about those claims, but those allegations are certainly there. And we've seen, earlier, a decade ago, so the Snowden revelations that did suggest an extensive bit of surveillance of foreigners conducted by the United States. So I think and then concerns about privacy have been raised, of course, with respect to other American apps. So this is a pervasive problem for all social media.
So the question is, has the TikTok saga become a political game of high-stakes poker? If the politicians' true agenda is only about protecting the people, they may start by listening to the people.
At this point, Facebook's had our information for years, so I don't think that the Chinese are a problem.
Well, Facebook is American.
Yeah, so everyone's got your information. Google's had it for years. Everything that you've ever clicked or searched on, everyone has your information, so this is not about another country now additionally having your information.
So what are your thoughts on this one? If you like our show, please remember to click like and subscribe. And also leave your comments down below. I'm Pablo. See you next time.